Hello guys and welcome to UEFA Nations League quarterfinals second leg. We are back to analyze the best, the quarterfinals, actually second leg, and also 4 other games as we did a couple of days ago. Everything is very open. We have to say that we were very successful in our tips, especially Alain Valnegri nailed his ACCA. Congratulations, Alain, good job. And we are back with Ronan. Hello, Ronan. Happy with Ireland beating Bulgaria and with Alain Valnegri. So, guys, please leave your comments, press the like, subscribe. Let's go on now with the show. And we're gonna start, of course, with the quarterfinals, second leg, all the games to be played on Sunday, 9:15 Central European time. And we start in France, Croatia. Ronan, 𝐻𝐴𝐵𝐶𝐻 again disappointed us, or France overall. They lost to Croatia, 2-0, poor result, probably in the second half. They could have done better or scored some goals. 𝐬𝐵𝐵𝐿𝐴 not that good as he is with PSG, playing as a number 9, and Croatia still with the old guard, especially Modric, with 5 lungs probably in his chest, playing good football and beating France. So now they are the favorites to go through, although for this game, France is super favorite, 1.5. Not sure if we should trust them after seeing the first leg.
Yeah, it was Modric kind of rolled back the years, and there was a clip that went around after the match of Mbappe going over in the box looking for a penalty, and Modric kind of standing over him, berating him. Kind of seemed, get up, young man, this is still an old man's game, and it was. France were very poor. The defensive duo they had, Saliba and Konaté, were disappointing, and 𝐿'𝐵𝐿𝐴, they called them a duo from hell in today's newspapers, so that's not a good start. And up front, like you said, 𝐬𝐵𝐵𝐿𝐴 wasn't at his usual best. 𝐸𝐿 was anonymous. He had 1 shot, it was blocked. Mbappe had lots of shots. He took 6 shots. He created 4 chances, but they weren't great shots at all, or they weren't even great chances. He created a combined XG and XA combined for 0.84. So Mbappe wasn't his kind of usual self either. And Opta said that France even only had 1 big chance in the game, and that was Bradley Barcola off the bench. So with all this attacking talent that we talked about in the preview, we just didn't see it. And France even had Mike Maignan in goal to kind of saved the blushes even more when he saved the penalty. So this French team do not look good at the moment under 𝐻𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐴. They need to turn things around, and that's exactly what 𝐻𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐴 said. They have to turn the situation around. Everything we could give them in the first half, we were punished, and there was far too much waste on the technical level. So I don't think we'll see 𝐵𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐿𝐴 in this game. There could be there could be plenty of changes from the first leg to the second leg, but at home, France have been pretty good, and they've scored plenty of goals. Usually at home, they've scored 2 or more goals at home against Belgium, Luxembourg and Chile in the past year. So they need to do it again, obviously, because they're 2 goals down after the first leg. So France total goals over 2, I like the look of, because they need to score. They have to score, and these players that we know can score for their clubs, they need to do better. So total goals over 2 is exactly 2, but I'm not going to say France win again for this one. I don't trust them after seeing them in the first leg. So both teams to score, yes, is a good option, I think, at 196.
Well, Alain, you criticized a lot Didier Deschamps, and you were completely correct also with Bob Martinez, by the way. But we will talk about him later.
Yes, but Deschamps, we saw. But I think yesterday, especially the first half, we saw the worst version of France, because in the second half we saw a reaction. The team great. The team was not accurate in the finalization, like Ronan said. But yes, is not enough for the potential. Is not enough. Yesterday, Deschamps try a new version of the attack structure with 𝐬𝐵𝐿𝐴 more free, with Colomani and Mbappe to play with 2 strikers. But we saw that France lose a lot of, concede a lot of space in transition. And that one is a new thing. If France lose his strengthness without the ball, Deschamps is dead. Because his team is built about the strengthness in defense. And yesterday we saw a team concede so much. Against a team who is more offensive powder, first half can be finished 4-0. And the team must to be responsible now. I think the leader of this vestiary must to start the reaction, to start the rebellion. And in my opinion, there will be a very good game, because I saw a team really upset at the end of the game. And for Croatia, is not a very good news. I try a big risk for this game, because we have the condition to watch a remontada. You have the condition to watch the best version of France. For that reason, I choose France score in both half, odds 3.50.
Well, if you think we might see a remontada, a comeback, France to qualify is 2.9, massive odds. If you...
But one, sorry, it was not score, it was one, both half, 3.50. And I think it's possible, but it's a risk.
Even higher odds then, France to win both halves, France to qualify, as I said, 2.9, the highest bookie, pretty much, as far as I can see. Now in Oddspedia, massive favorite, the next one, Germany, playing against Italy. Germany won. They came back. They conceded very early, but they were able to turn the situation around with Goretzka and 𝐿𝐴𝐴 from the bench, scoring with Musiala, Sané, and especially 𝐿𝐵𝐼𝐻 doing a great job. Italy, Alain scored first with Tonali. But probably if we look at the names of Italy and Germany, we can see there is a gap in quality between these two teams at the moment.
Yes, individual and collective gap. And especially in the area, Italy don't have that domination so important in the international level to dominate your area and dominate another area. And yesterday, Italy received again goal in a free kick, because both goals are from a free kick. I like Italy in the first half with a lot of energy, with powder, direct, really vertical. But after, in the second half, we saw Germany is a better team. Is a better team, and right now Italy probably will be playing against Norway to try to qualify and go back to a World Cup. Germany deserve the victory yesterday. Germany is favorite for this game, and in Dortmund, I think Germany will win this game, and I choose Germany winning odds 1.77.
Dortmund, Italy, good memories for the Italian fans. Alain Valnegri knows better with that goal scored by Del Piero. What a beauty in the counter-attack in the semi-finals of the World Cup in Germany 2006. Ronan, did you like Germany? We like 𝐿𝐵𝐼𝐻, of course, and the job done by Nagelsmann.
Yeah, I did. I like 𝐿𝐵𝐼𝐻. He obviously got 2 more assists, and since his debut in 2016, Germany have scored 27 times from headers, and 𝐿𝐵𝐻 has assisted 13 of those. So if you get the ball into the box from 𝐿𝐵𝐻, and Germany tried that a lot, they tried 21 crosses or balls into the box against Italy. That was their approach throughout. 11 of those were from 𝐿𝐵𝐻, and he got 2 assists. One of those for Tim Kleindienst off the bench, big tall guy, nice long neck like me. So yeah, he now has 3 international goals in 5 international matches. So we were talking about in the preview how Germany, where their weak spots were at both ends of the pitch in this game. But Oliver Baumann picking up his 3rd cap, he did very well in goal. He stopped a few good chances in the second half. One when in the first half that could have made it 2-0. So yeah, it was a good performance at both ends from the pitch, and that's kind of what traditionally, or the cliche goes, that Germany are efficient, and they were efficient in this match. And it was the first time in 13 years that Italy have lost a match that they were actually leading in. So it showed that Germany were able to come back in this one, and I think they can get another result. I agree with Alain there. I like the odds he's picked for this one, but I also like that 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐻, how involved he was, and I had a look at the over half assist. So if he gets 1 assist in this game, it's 5.50 for that. And like I said, he is he is Germany's kind of creative man. That was the approach in the first leg. There's no reason to think that they will change the approach significantly, because getting the ball into blind lines in the box is a good way to go, and he'll probably start instead of Burkhardt in the second leg. But this one, I think Italy have to get a goal in this one. So just like the first match, I'm going to go for both teams to score yes, and it's 180 in this one.
You were correct, indeed, in the first leg. Well, the winner of this Germany-Italy, probably Germany, will play against the winner of Portugal-Denmark. Very open in the 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲. Portugal lost 1-0, could have been worse. Even Eriksen missed a penalty. Højlund scored coming from the bench. Portugal, with a great squad, with a poor manager, probably. Perhaps Cristiano Ronaldo could have thought that if he had been born perhaps 5-10 years later, he had better teammates than in Cristiano Ronaldo in his premium, but still he was doing a great job with the national team in his top years, winning the Euros, and now suffering despite the great names. Again, Ronan, the team is still not clicking. Somehow you see the squad and it's a star after a star after a star.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons that maybe they don't click is Cristiano Ronaldo is still there, because he's not a young guy anymore. He did not contribute much at all. He had 2 shots for 0.09 XG. He only had 3 touches in the Danish box in the whole game. Denmark absolutely annihilated Portugal. They could have won by more. They had 23 shots to Portugal's 8. Ronaldo was largely anonymous, and the most memorable thing that we saw from Ronaldo was he was in the background watching on as Rasmus Højlund did his celebration after scoring the goal. That was the big talking point after, what Højlund said, that he wasn't trying to make fun of him after the game, that he's his idol and that's why he did it. He loves Ronaldo or whatever. But yeah, it kind of was a sign. Maybe your time is over, old man, as the meme says. But yeah, this Denmark team, they were ruthless, as Alain was expecting. They are always very good. They're always very difficult to beat at home. The Parken Stadium is a difficult place to go. I know from Ireland playing them so often, and if Denmark lose these 2 legs, Ireland will have to play them again. That's the World Cup group. Whoever loses this one will be playing against. So yeah, this is an interesting one for Irish fans to follow, an interesting one for me to follow. I think it's Portugal. They just haven't been good of late. They haven't been good. They weren't good in this match. They weren't good a lot of last year. In 5 of their last 10 matches, they haven't actually scored any goals. They've scored 6 goals in their last 4 internationals, but 5 of those were in one game against Poland. So they're not scoring enough goals. And maybe they are relying on Ronaldo too much. I had predicted that he was going to score in the first leg, but it never looked like doing anything whatsoever. So if they play the same way, they won't get too many goals here either. So Portugal under 1.5 goals is 2.15, but Denmark themselves, they like to keep the matches nice and tight. They've only 2 competitive games in there in the last year, in the last 12 months, with 3 or more goals in them. So I think this could be a low-scoring match, and Denmark would very much appreciate a low-scoring match here, because it won't give Portugal too much of a chance to get into the tie. So total goals under 2.5 is exactly 2.
Actually, you both expected, Alain expected both teams to score. Ronan expected Portugal to win. And the thing is that Roberto Martinez was accused of being a diplomat, Alain, during the Euros, for not dropping Cristiano Ronaldo, for having him still in the starting 11. And I'm sure in Portugal, everyone is talking about Ronan's point. Is Cristiano Ronaldo fit to be in this team right now?
In my opinion, since the Euro, he must to use Cristiano like a joker from the bench, because during 90 minutes, I think Cristiano lock a little the fluidity of the football of Portugal. Check one things. Paris Saint-Germain is doing the things really well now. In my opinion, the biggest team are built from the midfield. Paris Saint-Germain play with João Neves and Vitinha, and they're dominating in Champions League. And we saw against Liverpool, against the leader in Premier League, and we saw both Portuguese players dominate the midfield. Why they can't do that with Portugal is my big question. And you add Bruno Fernandes, you add Bernardo Silva. Portugal for the squad is one of the best team in Europe and in the world. But we don't have doubt about every role that have dominant player. But now the model of play, I think, is a problem. Denmark is really strong when they're played at Parken, at home, because remember the Euro 2021 is the best version of Denmark in the last 10 years. But when they're played at home, because away is 2 years, Denmark don't win a game away. And in Portugal, it will be hot in sporting field. In my opinion, there will be the synopsis of the game will be really different because Portugal conceded a lot yesterday, conceded a lot of occasion for Denmark, and Denmark, in my opinion, make mistakes, so many mistakes, and they can't pay that in Portugal because Portugal, it will be another version of Portugal. I choose the market of goal because I think it's a game with goal over 2.75 goals. Odds 2.20 with the over 1 goal in the first half. 1.50 is a good option too.
Well, you guys disagree. Ronan is going for under in this game, Alain for the over. I want also to show you the odds to qualify because they are very leveled. Actually, Portugal are slightly favorites, still 1.8, 1.89 for Portugal to qualify. Denmark 1.9, 1.97, so still Portugal are the favorites playing in the 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲. And the last game in the quarterfinals is Spain, Netherlands. Spain suffered a lot. They were very lucky to get a draw in the last minute with Merino scoring in the 𝐬𝐭𝐴. I think Spain missed Rodri, missed 𝐵𝐵𝐴, missed this character, also missed a number 9. There is a controversy, also a discussion in Spain about Morata and his fitness, but there is no one else to play as a number 9. And the Netherlands or Holland, they were great. Alain, probably they deserve to win. They had Frimpong shining. They were very dangerous at set pieces. And I'm sure it's not going to be easy for Spain, although perhaps as it played a big role in the Netherlands, the atmosphere in Mestalla is a very good stadium for Spain when they are playing in Valencia, actually.
Yes, without doubt. Now, Spain yesterday, yes, is a team with a really positive mind and their belief always until the last second. The things are possible, and we saw that in the Euro, and Luis de la Fuente managed very well the mind of the player and the management of the results. Yesterday, I missed something about Holland with the ball possession. Holland, in my opinion, is not so balanced because they play with so many offensive players. But in the midfield against Spain, you play only with 2 players, you will be suffer. After Koeman want to play in transition, I understand, to surprise Spain in the space at the shoulder of the line, defensive line. But in Spain, I think it will be so different, and Spain is really favorite for this game. I think Holland, when they play away, is not the best version. We saw that in the last 2 years, there have some limit, and I think this limit will be not possible for Holland to pass this leg, and Spain will win. I choose Spain winning odds 1.72.
Well, to qualify is only 1.3. Ronan, I don't know if you have the stats there, but I think Spain haven't lost at home maybe for 10 years or something like this. They are very, very strong when, we I have to say.
Only against Switzerland, I think they lose a game, a totally surrealistic game with 30 shots on the target. Yeah.
World Cup or Euro qualifier, yeah, Ronan, we are very strong when we play at home.
Yeah, then the away stats kind of led into that first leg. Spain have still never won away in the Netherlands. 2 draws, 4 losses. So, yeah, their home form they hope they can bring into this one, and their recent form overall is pretty good. They're unbeaten in 17 games. That's 14 wins and 3 draws. It's their longest streak since 2018. They went 27 games unbeaten, so they still have a way to go. They'll have to win the Nations League and some World Cup qualifiers before then if they're to match that 27 games. But yeah, I think we saw glimpses of what Spain can do, but they weren't at their best. And you mentioned it in the preview show that they had a lot of young players, the young defence kind of coming in. This is a team that they're somewhat transitioned. They're building towards the World Cup, obviously, and they still don't have a forward, although Mikel Merino has been a number 9 for Arsenal, and he was the hero for Spain in the first leg. So yeah, it was nice to see Jeremy Frimpong as well of Bayer Leverkusen fame get the chance to taste a late goal that was against his team for a change, because he's used to Bayer Leverkusen getting late goals and that making a huge difference. But yeah, this is a match where I agree with Alain. My main tip for this one is going to be Spain to win, but looking away from that, I think this could be a match where there's goals again, and 𝐿𝐵𝐺𝐿𝐵 has been kind of instrumental for the Netherlands. He's got 21 goal involvements in his 37 international caps. That's 15 goals and 6 assists. So he is kind of crucial to everything that the Netherlands do going forward. So if Spain can't keep him kind of under wraps, I think Netherlands can definitely get on the score sheet here. Spain have had both teams to score yes in their last 3 games. Netherlands have had 2 score draws in a row. For their last 6 games have been score draws. So both teams to score yes is another good option here. Slightly more than Spain win, and that's 180.
Well, I must say that Nico Williams said after the game that we are going to paint their face, which means in Spanish is an idiom, no? To say that we are going to thrash them, and they were not happy to see Van Persie's iconic goal in the World Cup in Brazil in the stadium of the 𝐿𝐵𝐻, and someone is saying if we are going to see Iniesta's iconic goal in the soccer stadium in Johannesburg, in the stadium of Mestalla. Some rivalry, a healthy rivalry between the Netherlands and Spain, with Xavi Simons playing for the Netherlands but half Spanish, and 𝐿𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐽 playing for Spain but Dutch, actually, from birth. Very interesting, of course, all the quarterfinals, and also caviar coming with other 4 games. First one is Georgia-Armenia. You both guys were correct. Tipping Georgia to win in Armenia was a walk in the park. 3-0 for Georgia. We saw 𝐿𝐴𝐴𝐺𝐽 scoring a brace, and the odds to back Georgia again are kind of good. Ronan, 1.5.
Yeah, not too bad at all. And considering how dominant they were in the first leg, it's hard to look past another Georgia win here. It was 173 XG to not even 0.33, not even a third of a goal. Armenia were able to get close to scoring, and it was kind of a heated atmosphere. Obviously, local rivalry, and there's political tensions, etc. in that. But the Armenia fans had something else on their minds. They were chanting to get their FA out. They're not happy with their football federation, so there was chants about that. They were demanding resignations across the board. So maybe in Georgia the atmosphere will be a bit less tense, but it was the first international match of a former Ajax Melbourne City manager, 𝐿𝐵𝐺𝐿𝐵, the Dutchman who won Euro 88 back in the day, but I don't think his Armenia managerial success will be as big as perhaps his playing days. Armenia are not a good side at the moment. They've lost 4 times to 0 since September. So they're not scoring goals, they're losing matches. They've only scored 5 times in the last 7 games. So Georgia win, hard to look past, 150 like you said, but also Georgia Georgia full-time could be an even better option at 220.
Talking about good managers with good players with bad managerial record, Kluivert made his debut with Indonesia and he lost 5-1 with Australia, and the previous manager actually was very good for Indonesia. So being a good player doesn't mean to be a good manager. Alain, we always mention 𝐿𝐴𝐺𝐽 when he's playing with Georgia, no? It's kind of these players that shine more with the national team than with the club, with Olympique Lyonnais, or also he's doing a good season with Lyon?
Well, he's doing a good season because we must consider he is in rotation with Lacazette. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 is an idol in Lyon, and it's difficult to him, and especially because he must to change a little his style, because he was the habit to play in a football more direct. Lyon is a really associative football, and but he adapt himself. The last week are very good. He scored in Europa League. He scored in Ligue 1 against Le Havre, and he scored twice in Armenia. Good news for Georgia without 𝗀𝗲𝗿𝗀 winning clearly this game. They're really favorite. The bookmaker made a big mistake because it was more than 2 the odds, and nothing will be changed except of Willy Sagnol do a big rotation, and we can't know that actually, but if Georgia play with his team, Georgia is really favorite, and I choose Georgia winning at the end of the first half, odds 2.00.
And a very interesting game is Hungary-Turkey. Turkey beat Hungary 3-1. Both Italian managers, by the way. Rossi for Hungary, Montella for Turkey, 3-1. 𝐻𝐿𝐴 scored for Turkey, a player that you mentioned, Alain, in our previous show. Do you think Hungary can make a comeback?
It's an opposition style. Hungary, normally when they play at home, is really strong. The biggest team in Europe suffer in Hungary. We see Holland, we see Germany, no winning in Hungary. Now the game in Istanbul don't reflect the synopsis of the game, because Hungary enter well in the game. Hungary shoot more in the target than Turkey. With an Hungarian little more accurate, probably Hungary catch it a positive results. When they played at home, I think Hungary can be back in this game. I choose Hungary winning, X no draw, odds 1.94.
Ronan, do you think Hungary can come back? It's 2 goals difference. It's not that bad, actually.
Yeah, I think they can, and like Alain said, and it was Turkey only had 4 shots on target, and 3 of those ended up in the net. It was one of those kind of games for Hungary where everything kind of went wrong that could go wrong. It was one of those. I thought they could keep it closer, and they should have. Hungary should have kept it a lot closer, but they just seemed to concede every time that Turkey got a good opportunity, and they couldn't turn their own chances into goals, and they'll have to pull up their socks at home. But that's, like Alain said, that's kind of usually what they do. The last 2 times they played Turkey at home, they've won them both. They won obviously March last year, nearly 12 months ago. They won at home against Turkey. I know Turkey had a lot of shots in that game, but Hungary won. There was a penalty from 𝗀𝗲𝗿𝗀𝗀, but they won, and that was the main thing building up to the Euros. And Hungary, they're unbeaten at home in the past year. And like Alain said, they got pretty good draws in the Nations League. They've won in friendlies, so there's no reason to think that Hungary can't get a positive result here. But again, I'm going to look to the goal market, and I think both teams to score has been kind of my trademark for this episode, so I'm going to go for that one again. Both teams to score, yes, is 1.91 in this one, and we know obviously Hungary need to score, so we know Turkey are capable of scoring, so I think it's a good option here.
Massive odds for Hungary to qualify, over 8. Next one is Serbia-Austria. Was a surprise to see Serbia getting a draw. You expected, actually, Austria to win that game. 𝗀𝗻𝗄 scored for Serbia and 𝗀𝗻𝗄 for Austria. Now the odds also are very balanced for this game, Ronan. Very difficult.
Yeah, I think it was like a game that Austria were kicking themselves that they didn't win. They had 24 shots in the match and 4 big chances, and they scored 1 goal. And Ralf Rangnick, after the game, he was outraged. He said, we had the game under control for 94 minutes. Unfortunately, the result doesn't reflect that. And it didn't. They dominated Serbia. They should have won by a lot more. Serbia have had 3 draws in a row. But Austria, on the other hand, are unbeaten in 5 matches. So Austria double chance could be a good option, 144. But I'm going to go even bigger and say Austria are going to qualify. That's exactly 2.
Well, it would be it's not easy, a surprise, because it's not easy to win in Serbia. Even Spain, for instance, drew there during the Nations League. Still, Serbia slightly favorite. Alain, the odds are balanced, but 2.5 for Serbia, 2.9 for Austria to win.
No, in my opinion, Austria is favorite. Yesterday we saw that Austria is better team to Serbia, to the model of play. 𝐶𝐿 found every time a system, found every time his player. Now, for the next game, Serbia will be recover some player really important, like the 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜𝐭𝐝 for the offensive phase, 𝐼𝐿enković in the defense, 𝗀�𝐧𝐧𝐾 too. Maybe he can change the wing, and his best central defender like 𝐼𝐿enković be back, but that one don't change the economy of the play. And in the center, Serbia have a problem, because after in the offensive play that they have a lot of solution, but to create occasion. Yesterday they scored that shoot only one shot on the target, and it was a goal, and it was a miracle. And I think it's difficult to me to give 1x2. I choose a market of goal, because Serbia will be attack over 2.25 goals, 1.85. Sorry. Yeah, and Austria, when Austria can attack in transition, is really dangerous team.
And the last game is Belgium-Ukraine. Big surprise also to see Ukraine beating Belgium 3-1. They were brilliant in the second half. I listened to 𝐻𝐿𝐴 complaining about the second half of Belgium. Not the best debut for Rudi Garcia, Alain.
Yeah, 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴 is always, when he play with Belgium, is always negative. He don't say that in Madrid. 𝐻𝐻𝐿𝐴 is he never speak in Madrid. In Belgium, is always upset, negative, and that one is for me the thermometer of the vesture in Belgium. And it's difficult to understand what happened in Belgium. But in the last show, we speak about the difference between both language side of the team in the vestiary, and now Rudi Garcia have the key to find a solution. It's difficult to imagine that, because maybe after the first half, everybody said Rudi Garcia is the home of the situation. 45 minutes after, with 3-1, is maybe or probably not the man of the situation. And Ukraine play with passion. They have a really difficult situation. Belgium will be attack in this game, will be concede space, and I see Ukraine score in Belgium. For that reason, I choose both teams to score. Odds 1.78.
Well, Belgium are very strong at home. I'm not sure how Rudi Garcia, Frenchman, speaks to De Bruyne or the 𝐶𝐿𝐴, for instance, Ronan, coming from the Flemish part of Belgium.
Yeah, maybe he picked up a phrase book, or he's downloaded Duolingo to help him out in the dressing room, perhaps. But yeah, we'll see how it goes over the next weeks and months. But yeah, he has a hard job on his hands, because 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻 is always complaining. But Lukaku was complaining after the match too. He said that the team have a mental problem, which is never what you want to hear from your goal scorer or anything. And he was saying that they have a new generation, but the older generation need to step up as well. So yeah, he's kind of blaming everybody for the problems at the moment. In Belgium, they've had 4 defeats in a row. They haven't won in 6 games. Their only win since Euro 2024 was a win over Israel, and apart from that, they've been absolutely terrible on the field, I should say, but yeah, off the field a bit too, because they seem to be complaining too much to the media. But yeah, Ukraine have been very good recently, unbeaten in 5 games. So I'm also like both teams to score yes, like Alain in this one. I like both teams to score yes in most games for this weekend. So yeah, both teams to score yes has happened in each of Ukraine's last 4 games. But I also am intrigued by a Ukraine double chance at 2.85 in this one, because yeah, Belgium look terrible at the moment. So yeah, Ukraine on the other hand, they look good. So yeah, why not?
It's 1.5 Ukraine to qualify. The odds are very low for Belgium to win, so it's good, as you say, Ronan, to go for the other side. Well, guys, thank you for your tips. Of course, you can post your tips also in Oddspedia and win some cash prizes, or participate in Rivals and create your own tipster competition and play with your friends. Let's go with the safe bets, Ronan.
Yeah, Germany, Italy, total goals over 1.5 is 131.
Alain?
Serbia, Austria over 1.75 goals, odds 1.43.
Ronan, safe bet, ACCA?
Yeah, Daniel wouldn't let me talk, our producer wouldn't let me talk about Ireland, so I'm putting Ireland in my ACCA instead, because after the performance in Bulgaria was absolutely diabolical, so Ireland should even be able to win 2 games in a row for the first time in a long time. So I'm going for Germany, Italy, both teams to score, Georgia win, and Ireland win for 473.
We were tempted to put Bulgaria or Ireland-Bulgaria in this show, or Greece-Scotland actually was also a very good one, but we have a part of our heart in Armenia somehow. Alain, your ACCA?
Spain, Netherlands over 2.25 goals, Hungary, Turkey over 2.25 goals, and Ireland, Kosovo over 1.25 goals, total 3.85.
It's a derby, actually, Armenia, Georgia, no, in that part of the world, together with Azerbaijan. So it's always interesting, this geopolitics. Well, Alain, Ronan, thank you, guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.